this is the continuation of the story of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. In the last book, The Pious Man and His Sons, we saw how Yusuf alayhi salam was thrown in a well by his brothers and ultimately brought to Egypt, where he was bought by a noble prince whose name was Aziz. After some years, although Yusuf alayhi salam was innocent, Aziz's wife imprisoned the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Prison opened another chapter in the life of the Prophet Yusuf alayhi salam. Here he met two prisoners. They were servants in the royal court who had displeased the king. Both of them had strange dreams, the meanings of which were correctly given by Yusuf alayhi salam. One of them, a cup-bearer, was freed and taken back into the king's service. One day the king dreamt that 7 lean cows were eating up 7 fat ones, and 7 green ears of corn were being replaced by 7 dried up ones. No one was able to say what this unusual dream meant. At that time, at the request of the cup-bearer, Yusuf alayhi salam interpreted the dream. He explained that in the lands of Egypt there would be 7 years of prosperity, but following these 7 years of abundance, there would come 7 years of dreadful famine. The king greatly liked his explanation. There and then he appointed Yusuf alayhi salam to look after the granaries and made him responsible for providing enough grain to meet all needs during the foretold famine. 7 years later, Yusuf alayhi salam had become the most trusted minister of the king of Egypt. The 7 good years passed, and then, as foretold by Yusuf alayhi salam, there came the 7 lean and hungry years when no crops would grow and famine held the land in its grip. Back in the land of Canaan, Yaqub alayhi salam and his sons were hit by the famine too. Therefore, the 10 sons traveled to Egypt in search of grain. When they came to the chief of the storehouses in Egypt, Yusuf alayhi salam recognized them. However, they did not realize that this minister from whom they had come to ask provisions was their own brother Yusuf alayhi salam, whom they had thrown into a dry well many years ago. Yusuf alayhi salam received them honorably and asked them about their family. Yusuf alayhi salam gave them an ample supply of grain and put their money back in their bags. The brothers made further visits. Ultimately, Yusuf alayhi salam revealed his identity to them and forgave them for their crime. He asked them to bring their aged parents. Finally, the family was reunited, and Yusuf alayhi salam embraced his parents and did them honor by making them sit on the throne, saying, "Welcome to Egypt in safety if Allah wills." Seeing the splendor and high position of Yusuf alayhi salam, they all fell prostrate as a mark of thanksgiving and awe. This Yusuf alayhi salam reminded his father, "Is the meaning of my dream, which my Lord has fulfilled." The dream that Yusuf alayhi salam had as a boy of the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars prostrating themselves before him had at last come true.